Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Infinite Manifestations. Do you think being intuitive and having anxiety can happen at the same time? Do you think we should face our fear despite the long-lasting anxiety about something? And actually, how do you know the difference between intuition and anxiety? Let's begin with the second question first. Do you think we should face our fear despite the long-lasting anxiety about something? Fear is a part of you telling you that it doesn't feel safe. I think the first thing to do is to see if other parts of you disagree with that unsafe feeling. For example, if you're thinking, a part of me wants to, but a part of me doesn't. If that's the case, dig in more to that first. Why are you feeling the split between this choice? What do each of these parts of you say and think? Why do you feel those things? And are there other people doing it without fear or anxiety, or is there a real danger? Now, if every single part of you is saying, hell no, don't do that, then I'd listen to that and stay away. While anxiety and fear feel similar, anxiety is a reaction to our emotions versus danger in the environment. Anxiety is a stop reaction to the impulses that fear and other core emotions create inside the body. For example, fear mobilizes energy for movement and anxiety pushes it back down. Fear and anxiety often occur together, but these terms are not interchangeable. Fear is an intense biological response to immediate danger, while anxiety is an emotion regarding things we think may happen. Anxious and frightening emotions can feel the same and be easily confused, but when comparing fear versus anxiety, there are several important differences between the two. Examining fear versus anxiety can help you determine what you are truly experiencing, even though symptoms commonly overlap. A person's experience with these emotions differs based on their context. First, you need to differentiate between fear and anxiety. If you understand the difference, you can move to the next step, which leads us to the third question. How do you actually know the difference between intuition and anxiety? What is the difference between fear and intuition? How do you know when your gut instinct is telling you something isn't appropriate for you and when imposter syndrome is holding you back? Let us begin with definitions. You may refer to intuition as a hunch, gut feeling, or deeper understanding. It is the ability to grasp things without using conscious thinking. In other words, you may receive answers and solutions without realizing why or how. Your intuition relies on implicit memory, which is your capacity to retain and recall information without using conscious thinking. Your brain examines a scenario in milliseconds and considers your mental Rolodex of prior experiences, personal requirements, preferences, and so on, and then it provides you an intuitive intuition for a decision based on that context. When your intuition tries to slow you down, it's beneficial to think of it as an internal traffic light. In this sense, intuition is like an internal traffic light, warning you to slow down or stop when a situation isn't good for you or you're not prepared, or giving you the all clear when something is correct. Because intuition is abstract and fluid, it can be difficult to define. It's a nonverbal and energetic emotion, almost like a sense or a vibe. But I'm willing to bet there are specific examples of how you see your intuition at work in your daily life. Are you able to read between the lines and sense what other people are thinking or feeling before they say it? Have you ever thought about a specific person and received a call 1 second later from that specific person? Have you ever received a flash of insight or a great idea that seems to come out of nowhere? Maybe under the shower or while meditating? Or did you ever got a pit in your stomach when you have to make a decision? For a reason, scientists refer to the stomach as the second brain. Your digestive system is lined with a huge neuronal network of 100 million neurons. That is more neurons than the spinal cord, indicating the gut's amazing powers. In circumstances where analytical reasoning alone is insufficient, intuition is most effective. According to research, when it comes to major life decisions like where to move or what sort of work to pursue, individuals are significantly happier and more content when they make intuitive choices. You have more intuition than the other 80% of the population as an empath. Life Path 11 empaths, for example, are those who digest the world around them more profoundly. You're also more sensitive to the emotions of others. You have an incredible ability to detect what others overlook, perceive patterns, and synchronicity. As a result, your intuition has become more refined. You have a larger store of information about the world and yourself to draw from. The biggest challenge is that most empaths have not developed strategies to help them trust themselves. Many people have consciously taught to distrust themselves. We've been taught that being sensitive is bad, something to hide and be ashamed of. We're taught to toughen up and stop taking things so personally. These signals cause us to lose faith in our intuition. Empaths also have a tendency to seek external recognition and acceptance, which leads us further away from understanding what is best for us. You are not alone if you have ever struggled to distinguish between intuition and fear. The good news is that intuition can be trained like a muscle. It is something you can strengthen with conscious attention and effort. So how do you know when you don't want to do something because you are afraid or nervous versus it actually not being in your best interest? Here's how to discern between intuition and fear. To begin, consider what fear looks like. When dread appears, it seems like pushing energy, as if you are trying to avoid rejection, scorn, or condemnation. Your aim is to avoid punishment or social exclusion. Fear feels like high-speed, frenzied, restless energy in your body. Tenseness, as if your muscles are clutching, or minimizing or constricting, are all frequent sensations. You may notice that you are physically shrinking, and in most cases there is always a logical component to it. Anxiety is based around uncertainty and lack of control over a situation. When you are afraid, your inner conversation is dominated by harsh, criticizing ideas. Your inner critic is highly loud, domineering, and melodramatic. It motivates you to conceal, withhold, comply, or otherwise compromise yourself and your needs. Fear thrives in chaos. Intuition, on the other hand, has a pulling energy to it, as if you're being dragged toward your best interests, even if it means taking a risk. There is optimism, and perhaps even a hint of enthusiasm. In your body, intuition feels like a peaceful inner knowing. It's calm and trusting, knowing that if things doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. It's considerably more focused on growth in your body. It has the appearance of growth and openness. It's like a love language from your higher self. It talks to you with love, and very often intuition comes in not related situation, like the intuition of a mother. While washing dishes, she got an intuitive feeling that something happened with her child. While fear's voice is critical, intuition's voice is often uplifting and reflects deeper insight. Intuition pushes you to shine, move at your own speed, and seek what you need, even if it's not what the majority wants. If it's a fear, you can usually identify it and face it, and then it will fade. If it's intuition, the don't do this doubt, the feeling won't fade. Intuition is heart, anxiety is brain. Intuition is picking up patterns and knowing. The gut feeling is relaxed, physical symptoms that serve us. You are rooted in the here and now. Good diet, voice of reason, rational. We create a story and it inspires us. Anxiety is the loud scream. False alarm, fear-based. Intuition is love-based. Anxiety creates physical symptoms which don't serve us. Worrying about the future, worst-case scenario. Everything is moving fast and you have no control. Poor diet. Anxiety overwhelms us from overthinking. We create a story and come up with assumptions. But what if intuition and anxiety happens at the same time? Do you think being intuitive and having anxiety can happen at the same time? Absolutely yes. In my humble opinion, intuition and anxiety can happen at the same time. While it's not possible to feel two opposite feelings, like anger and happiness, it is possible to feel intuition and anxiety at the same time, because it can be a similar feeling. I already gave you an example. Let's imagine the intuition of a mother. While she is constantly worrying about her child, she still can get a very unpleasant feeling in her gut that something happened with her child. In most cases, it happens out of nowhere. Yes, sometimes you will be wrong and sometimes you will be right. The challenge is to train your intuition so you can trust it most of the time. If you've been right, you have to write it down. If you have been wrong, write it also down. That's a good way to differentiate between intuition and anxiety. The more you practice it, the faster you will get good results with your intuition. Trying to force emotions often results in you blocking them. I would practice calming down first with meditation, breathing, and mindfulness before taking any further steps. If you can trust your intuition in a calm situation, you will be able to differentiate intuition and anxiety in a more stressful environment. Zooming out just a bit, developing interoception and learning to recognize and understand our internal states will be immensely useful. And always remember, there isn't only one way to do things right. Be open to receive, and I hope to see you in my future. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.